Ronda Rousey stunned on return at UFC 207 as she's beaten by Amanda Nunes after just 48 seconds during brutal loss in Las Vegas. Ronda Rousey lost inside a minute on her return to UFC as Amanda Nunes took a stunning victory. Nunes came flying out at the start of the fight and sent Rousey rocking before the contest was stopped. Former champion Rousey briefly protested the stoppage before leaving the cage in her mother's arms. The household name will make $3 million for her appearance, while her opponent's purse is just $200,000. Nunes takes swipe at actress Rousey. Now she is going to retire, but she has a lot of money. Defeat on her return after 13 months out raises major questions over Rousey's future in the UFC. Unplug the modem, folks, it's over. UFC fans react to Ronda Rousey's 48-second defeat. Earlier in the evening, Cody Garbrandt beat Dominick Cruz to claim the bantamweight title in style. Also in the bantamweight division, TJ Dillashaw beat John Lineker by unanimous decision. Ronda Rousey's long-awaited UFC comeback didn't even last a minute. Rousey was stopped 48 seconds into her first fight in 13 months, losing to bantamweight champion Amanda Nunes at UFC 207 on a stunning night in Las Vegas. Rousey, who made a guaranteed $3 million for her comeback bout while her opponent's guaranteed payday was just $200,000, never managed to get her footing against Nunes, who rocked Rousey with her very first punches. Rousey showed little defensive acumen as she staggered and stumbled backward, with Nunes relentlessly pursuing her and landing multiple shots. Referee Dean stopped the bout with Rousey still on her feet, and Rousey briefly protested the stoppage before leaving the cage in her mother's arms. "Forget about Ronda Rousey," a triumphant Nunes shouted to the sellout crowd. "She's going to go do movies. Forget about her. She has a lot of money already." Cody Garbrandt won the men's bantamweight title in the penultimate bout, battering champion Dominick Cruz to earn a surprising decision victory at T-Mobile Arena in the UFC's traditional end-of-the-year show in its hometown. But the sellout crowd was shocked when Rousey couldn't compete in her first fight since losing her belt to Holly Holm 13 months ago in her first career defeat. Rousey became arguably the world's most famous female athlete and a combat sports trailblazer while she rocketed atop the UFC, but a year away from the sport apparently did little to heal the holes in her game. She made a guaranteed $3 million for her comeback bout, while Nunes' guaranteed payday was just $200,000. "I knew I was going to beat Rousey," Nunes said. "I'm the best on the planet." Rousey hadn't fought since November 2015, when Holm stopped her with a head kick in one of the biggest upsets in MMA history. Rousey had never lost or been in much trouble while the former Olympic judo medalist earned a series of one-sided victories, but Holm's veteran striking made Rousey look amateurish before the dramatic finish. Rousey's return fight was similar, but even quicker, and now Rousey's future in the sport is clearly in question. The biggest star in the women's game is likely considering retirement shortly before her 30th birthday. Nunes claimed her belt with a violent stoppage of my shot hit at UFC 200 in July, completing an unlikely ascent for a Brazilian veteran whose skills have improved in recent years. Nunes lost 3 fights earlier in her career to opponents beaten easily by Rousey, but Nunes' work ethic and toughness propelled her into the biggest fight in the women's game against Rousey. Rousey nearly vanished from public view after her first loss, taking time away from the gym and attending to her acting career. After the bantamweight belt changed hands 2 more times in her absence, Rousey agreed to return for a shot at reclaiming her title. The UFC also was sold during her absence to WME-IMG, the entertainment conglomerate that also represents Rousey's career. But Rousey refused to promote this pay-per-view show, leaving Cruz and Nunes to do most of the work. While Rousey's media blackout will hurt her cut of the pay-per-view revenue, it didn't affect her guaranteed payday, which matched Conor McGregor for the biggest disclosed check in UFC history. Earlier, Garbrandt, 11-0, remained unbeaten with a virtuoso performance to claim the belt held for the past 11 months by Cruz, 22-2, who ended up with a gaping cut over his left eye. Garbrandt used precise striking, multiple takedowns and remarkable charisma to win over the judges, who all favored him by scores of 48-46, 48-46 and 48-47. Cruz hadn't lost an MMA fight since March 24, 2007, winning 13 straight bouts in a career marked by multiple comebacks from major injuries. The 25-year-old Garbrandt is a native of Irishville, Ohio, who trains in the Sacramento area gym of veteran fighter Roger Faber. Cruz and Garbrandt taunted each other repeatedly during the promotion of their bout, and their genuine dislike translated into a frenzied 5-round fight. Garbrandt lived up to his boundless promise with a resourceful effort against Cruz, who is favored to defend his belt. Instead, Garbrandt landed more shots and did more damage from the opening round. Both fighters landed significant strikes in the first 2 rounds, but Garbrandt turned the fight in his favor early in the 3rd round during the exchange that opened the cut on Cruz's face. Garbrandt put on a performance in the 4th round, repeatedly knocking down Cruz when he wasn't dancing away from the champion. The unfriendly rivals congratulated each other after the bout, but Cruz didn't appear surprised when Garbrandt's hand was raised. After receiving his belt, Garbrandt wrapped it around the waist of Maddox Maple, a 10-year-old leukemia survivor from northern Ohio who has been his motivational talisman. Garbrandt's first title defense could be against T.J. Dillashaw, who dominated John Lineker in a unanimous decision victory moments earlier at UFC 207, winning 30-26 on all 3 cards. Dillashaw, 15-3, showed off precise striking and a superior ground game to trounce the Brazilian brawler. "Come try me," Garbrandt shouted at Dillashaw afterward.